guilty on all 4 counts. All eyes across the country were on our Oakland County Courthouse today as Jennifer Crumbley becomes the first parent in the U.S. convicted of involuntary manslaughter for her child's deadly actions.
And what's interesting is nobody was really quite sure how this case was going to go, but those in Oxford, well, they feel this is just another step towards justice. Let's get live to Fox News' Jessica Dupnack. She joins us now with more from those impacted by the shooting. And Jessica, nothing will bring those innocent lives back, but perhaps, as you said earlier, this brings us closer to a piece of justice.
Yeah, they're on the path to recovery, Roop. That's what a lot of these families will tell you. But first, you know, when you're dealing with a jury, there's so many unknowns. You don't know what will resonate with the 12 jurors. And ultimately, it was the prosecutors gathering evidence for 2 years that resonated, leading to those guilty verdicts. And the Oxford families we talked to said that's exactly what they wanted.
We find the defendant guilty of involuntary manslaughter.
My heart was racing, waiting for it, and as soon as they said it, my heart skipped a beat.
Megan and Chad Gregory's son Keegan, 15 years old, when Justin Schilling was murdered in front of him in the bathroom at Oxford High School. They watched the testimony, watched as Jennifer Crumbley took the stand.
I do believe she cared for her son, but I believe she cared for herself more.
Chad says she lost sight of what it means to be a parent.
At first, I almost fell for it. And then I started to pay attention to her body language. So as soon as there was one lie out of her mouth, I was done.
The Gregorys are part of a civil suit ongoing, represented by attorney Ven Johnson, who says Jennifer Crumbley's case is about neglecting a son with mental illness.
Come on, guys. You don't buy that kid a gun. You don't take him to the shooting range.
Craig Schilling, Justin's dad, told Fox 2 what he'd say to the defendant after the historical verdict came down Tuesday.
I would probably say something along the lines of, you wouldn't have to go through any of this if you would have just done your job as a parent.
He adds it's a step towards accountability.
It's a relief to have it behind us and be able to shift focus to the next one.
The next one is James Crumbley's trial next month. Legal analysts say there is even more damning evidence against him. The jury forewoman in Jennifer Crumbley's case said their decision hinged on the fact that Jennifer was the last adult with the gun.
This verdict is crucial to America. I mean, we need to know that our kids are safe and parents are taking part in their children's lives.
Very eye-opening listening to these families and what they thought as Jennifer Crumbley took the stand to try and defend herself. Ultimately, it did not work out. And they will sit through more testimony. As we heard earlier, James Crumbley expected, his trial expected in March. And of course, the sentencing for Jennifer in April and all of those ongoing civil cases. Reporting live, Jessica Dupnack on The Edge.
Yeah, you wonder what these jurors were thinking when they made their decision based on the pieces of evidence, so many different kinds. On one instance, you have the fact that this boy was asking for help, saying he sees hallucinations, sees demons, actually asking his father for help. On the other hand, the weapon is provided. What was the piece, the tipping point for these jurors?
I really think is what you heard from the forewoman there. The last adult to have the gun was Jennifer Crumbley. We also talked to Oakland County Sheriff Michael Bouchard earlier today, and he took us back to the point which is a tipping point for him, and I would imagine the jurors as well, is that when Jennifer Crumbley heard about the shooting at Oxford, her first thought wasn't, is my son hurt? It was, did my son do it? And I think that was a very, very poignant point the last week.
All right, we'll all be, looking to March now for that next case here. But for now, Jessica Dupnack for us live tonight. Thank you.
So now that we have a guilty verdict, what does that mean for Jennifer Crumbley's sentence?
Fox 2's Dave Kinchin tells us how many years she could be facing behind bars.
Yeah, I can't say I'm surprised about the verdict after seeing a lot of the trial that was televised, after seeing Jennifer Crumbley testify.
Jonathan Marco has watched the trial of Jennifer Crumbley closely as a criminal defense attorney, though he was not on the Crumbley case. Sentencing is the next step for the mother of the convicted Oxford High School shooter, and Marco shows us what that would look like now that she's convicted on 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter.
Each count has a statutory maximum of 15 years. But what happens is they all run at the same time. So the general rule is it's not going to be 15 plus 15 plus 15 plus 15. It's going to be a maximum of 15 years.
He says there are many variables the judge will look at when determining a sentence that fits within set guidelines.
There's all kinds of different things, like the heinousness of the crime. Was it part of a criminal enterprise? Was there, there's all these things. Is there mitigating factors that come in that could reduce it? And so those are going to be scored up. And a case like this, given the gravity of it, I would not be surprised to see a high sentence. If the judge wants, the judge could depart upwards and increase it. But remember, 15 is still going to be the max for that crime.
Meantime, the nation watched as Oakland County prosecutors went deep into Jennifer Crumbley's personal life, including her extramarital affairs and spending time with horses, working to show that she was too busy focusing on other things instead of her son's mental health and the high risk for a tragedy that could have been prevented. He says much of the prosecution's technique could fit into future trials involving the parents of school shooters, but not necessarily all. It's one reason why the Crumbley case is so historic.
I think that's a case-by-case basis. Look, different judges make different evidentiary rulings, and judges are given wide latitude with regards to what evidence can come in and can't come in. There's a lot of gray area.
Dave Kinchin on The Edge.
Well, Jennifer Crumbley's sentencing is scheduled for April 9th, but before that day, her husband James will stand trial on the same charges.
We'll see him in court the first week of March. Fox 2's legal analyst Charlie Langton tells us what we can expect.
James has now seen the entire prosecution case. Honestly, I don't think there's going to be a lot more, any really different witnesses. There'll be a little more emphasis because James bought the gun, and there's a lot of testimony, or at least hints, that he bought the gun for a 15-year-old kid that was disturbed. I doubt that James would take the stand because we saw the disaster here. So it's probably a little bit better for the defense to go second. As far as the prosecutor goes, I would think the prosecutor's going to put in the same case. She won today, and she thinks she's going to win with these same witnesses.
There is a possibility James Crumbley's defense team could try to work out a plea deal as well. Make sure you stay tuned. Well, while the mother of the Oxford high school shooter was being sentenced, the Warren School District had to deal with the deadly threat of violence at 2 schools.
In fact, at Carter Middle School, a student had 14 classmates' names on what was called a death list. At Chatterton Middle School, a loaded handgun was confiscated from a student's home after he threatened to come back with that gun following a fight.
I'm not sure, what is in the minds of these young people and what the parents are doing. I mean, the parents obviously have a responsibility.
Warren police say they have no choice but to take every threat seriously. Both middle school students are now facing criminal charges.
We need to find Amanda. We need to make sure that the child's okay, that Amanda's okay.
Tonight, the search continues for a missing endangered infant and her mother. Auburn Hills police say Amanda Prowell-Smith assaulted a family member on Friday before taking off with 1-month-old Eliza Smith. She has a history of mental health issues. The baby was not born in a hospital and doesn't have a birth certificate. Anyone with information about their whereabouts, take a close look at your screen. Please dial 911 or call police right away.
All right, well, a sunny, mild day, and it's only going to get better from here.
Ooh, that sounds good. Yeah. Captain Rich here with unusually warm February so far.
Taryn and Roop, sunny and mild in February. That's a great thing, and we had it today. That sunshine was glorious out there. Just a very weak system passing the northern Great Lakes with a couple of sprinkles up near the bridge. Bigger system is this one here, churning over the Four Corners region. That's the one that brought all the rain and snow to Southern California, and the wind. It is bringing some cooler temperatures to Las Vegas. Of course, that's where the Super Bowl is going to be this coming Sunday. We'll show you those numbers. Right now, just some fair weather clouds, high-level clouds crossing the region. It's pretty quiet. These are live pictures along I-75 in the Davison, right on the border of Detroit and Highland Park. No problems on the roadways tonight. You'll see the numbers at the airport, 43 and 28, way above where we should be for February. Sunset is getting later and later. Sunrise is getting earlier and earlier as we're moving forward to the start of spring next month. Right now, a lot of us in the lower 30s, 33 in Lansing, 29 in Monroe. A little cool up there in Port Huron, 28 degrees. Thankfully, not a lot of breeze, but a very light flow from the south and east. Around here, a lot of us are near 30 degrees, give or take. Colder air is out east. How about out west? Las Vegas right now, 46 degrees. It is going to be bright for the weekend ahead, including the Super Bowl, but temperatures will be stuck in the 50s, so no hot Super Bowl this year. High pressure gives us dry weather for tomorrow and Thursday. Eventually Thursday night and Friday, our next system brings us a chance for rain showers, but it is going to stay mild to finish the work week. 28 tonight, back to 45 tomorrow with sun and clouds, and then we have a shot at 60 degrees on Friday. Cooler into next week. We'll check it for you starting at 4 a.m.